Knicks fan hating on Caitlin Clark. No, this is some guy that an actual. I mean, he's on the Craig Carton show. I'm like, didn't Craig Carton get the boot from somebody? I don't know. Anyway, nonetheless, and I like Craig Carton a little bit. I like watch the. I check in on Craig Carton clips every now and then. So forgive me, but this guy was filling in for Craig Carton. I don't know who the hell Tyrone is. Tyrone.
A radio host filling in on the Craig Carton show recently offered a take on Caitlin Clark that drew immediate and widespread backlash. Widely described as one of the most poorly reasoned sports opinions in recent memory. And that is in a media landscape where genuinely bad takes are not in short supply. The argument put forward was that Clark is the Jeremy Lin of women's basketball. Lin, for context, had a roughly 6-week stretch with the New York Knicks that captured the sports world's attention before settling into a modest NBA career. Suggestion was that Clark's moment is similarly temporary, a flash of cultural interest that will fade, and that she is going to fumble her opportunity.
Tyrone. Better call Tyrone. Except on anything that involves basketball takes. So this guy right here that you're looking at, guy that looks like Marlon Wayans' play cousin, had arguably the worst basketball take in the history of all takes. And this is a world where Skip Bayless exists. Okay? I'm just putting that out there. When he decided to compare
the evidence offered to support this, she attended a Morgan Wallen's concert. The logical leap from concert attendance to career collapse did not land well with anyone paying attention.
When he decided to compare Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark effect, and everything surrounding Caitlin Clark to Lynn Sanity. Jeremy Lin, point guard for the Knicks. Everybody remember that? He blew up for like 6 weeks or something and took the sports world by storm. Little 6-week run. Ended up churning into a little NBA career there.
Morgan Wallen shows, it was quickly noted, routinely features some of the biggest names in sports walking the artist out. Patrick Mahomes, Marshawn Lynch, I5, and Myles Garrett among them. The attempt to frame Clark's presence at the concert as a career-defining mistake was not supported by any consistent A5 standard being applied elsewhere. The host also claimed Clark is not the best player in the WNBA, not the best guard in the league, and not even the best guard from her college class, citing Paige Buckers as the superior player.
NBA career there. Talking about the biggest college basketball women's star ever. Think Larry Bird coming out of Indiana State. Fresh off the Michigan State, Magic Johnson, blah, blah, blah. So the Larry Bird of women's sports comes walking into the league, wins Rookie of the Year, damn near wins the MVP.
The problem with that last point is a factual one. Buchers entered the league the year after Clark, placing them in different draft classes entirely. The comparison to Lynn does not survive basic scrutiny. Clark won Rookie of the Year.
Nearly claimed MVP honors during a dominant post-Olympic break run in her second season. Set the all-time assist record in the WNBA.
Holds the record for fastest player to reach 1,250 points and 250 assists. And is widely credited as the central figure behind the league's new CBA, a deal that pushed player salaries past the $1 million mark for the first time.
Because of a bonkers run after the Olympic / All-Star break. I guess it was it was Olympic break. But she did get hot after the All-Star break too. And he decides, because he's hurt, this guy's upset because she went to the Morgan Wallen concert. Now, again, we can go down memory lane and say, and by the way, she's been called a...
Lynn had a memorable stretch. Clark has restructured the financial architecture of an entire professional league. The broader reaction to the take centered on a familiar observation. The only reason a show like that would be discussing the WNBA at all is because of Clark's existence.
And by the way, she's been called a racist. I did that video. I woke up to that on Sunday morning, I guess. The Morgan Wallen fallout, where everybody was calling Caitlin Clark racist because she was at a Morgan Wallen concert, and I guess about half the damn team was there, evidently. Keep in mind, Morgan Wallen goes into towns, has the biggest sports stars in the city, walk him out.
Using her name to generate engagement while simultaneously arguing she is overrated is a contradiction that did not go unnoticed in the comment sections and online responses that followed. If Clark's trajectory does end up falling short of her potential, the argument being made by those pushing back is that the blame would sit squarely with the coaching staff and front office, not with the player, and certainly not with her concert attendance. The one person who fumbled anything in this particular exchange, most observers concluded, was the host himself.
Walk him out. Patrick Mahomes has done it. Marshawn Lynch has done it. Myles Garrett has done it. Them some black dudes. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out as I hit my damn laptop because I'm all worked up. And this guy's upset. And somehow he decides to call Caitlin Clark Jeremy Lin because of Morgan Wallen. I'm not sure how you get from A to B there.
A WNBA media figure recently sparked debate by publicly arguing that Caitlin Clark is not the best player in the league, not the best guard in the league, and not even the best guard from her college class, pointing to Paige Bueckers, whose Dallas team defeated Indiana in the season opener, as a stronger candidate for that last distinction. The same commentator drew comparisons between Clark and Jeremy Lin, suggesting that what appears to be a transformative moment for the sport may ultimately be remembered as a short-lived phenomenon rather than a lasting legacy. The remarks drew significant pushback, with many viewing the framing as an overreaction to a small early-season sample and a misreading of the broader impact Clark has had on WNBA attendance, viewership, and revenue.
Get from A to B there? But he says she's going to fumble her opportunity.
The Caitlin Clark thing is over because she's not the best player in the WNBA. She's not the best guard in the WNBA. She's not even the best guard from her college class because that's Paige Bueckers who...
Well, first of all, Paige Bueckers came out the year afterwards. So not in her class. Caitlin Clark came out the year before. So...
Running parallel to that conversation is a separate controversy involving Clark's decision to walk out to Morgan Wallen's music, a choice that drew
pointed commentary from several media figures, given Wallen's documented history with a racial slur. Joe Budden addressed the situation on his podcast, framing it primarily as a matter of optics rather than character. His position was that Clark's fanbase has developed a well-documented subset of overtly racist supporters, and that choosing to publicly align with an artist carrying that kind of baggage, regardless of intent, compounds an already complicated perception problem.
Other in the playoffs right now, Magic and Pistons. Wendell Carter Jr. is dating Angel is dating Angel Reese, who is Jalen Duren's ex. So now these two dudes are playing each other. They're guarding each other. And Jalen Duren averaged 20 and 10 in the regular season. He's going to make the All-NBA team. He's an all-star. He's averaging 10 and 8 now. He's matched up against Angel Reese's current boyfriend. He's the ex. So that kind of weird dynamic there is like absolutely crushing his game on a mental level. And it's like,
is it real? Like, has he come out and said something that's
He stopped short of calling Clark racist, and another voice in the conversation agreed,
noting that people who know her well don't believe that characterization is accurate. The more nuanced point raised in that discussion was about blind
spots and the responsibility that comes with Clark's specific position in the culture, because a portion of her loudest supporters have used her
as a vehicle for racially charged commentary, particularly in the context of her repeated comparisons and conflicts with Angel Reese. Some argued that Clark carries an elevated obligation to be thoughtful about the signals she sends, even unintentionally.
absolutely crushing his game on a mental level. And it's like,
is it real? Like, has he come out and said something that's why?
so there's like, Jalen Duren and Angel were like dating on the low, but like, Snap and Instagram, you could tell they're in the same location. That was a few months ago. Now she's very publicly dating Wendell Carter Jr. And every time Jalen Duren gets dunked on, Angel Reese is putting it on her story. So she's like really going after him here, which is kind of crazy too. Cause like if you're Wendell, it'd be like, yo, you could like move off that now, but
I wonder if something had to have happened for her to like keep like, I don't know, want to like embarrass.
The counter-argument, also raised in the same conversation and echoed by Jamily Hill, 5, is that policing someone's entertainment choices is a standard that very few public figures could survive if applied consistently. Hill's position was that accusing Clark of racism based on a walkout song sets a precedent that would implicate plenty of others, including WNBA players who have publicly attended Chris Brown concerts. Nobody, the argument went, passes a comprehensive purity test.
Them in some way.
Or nothing happened.
Valid. But then move on. Worry about
Yeah.
your current boyfriend.
Huh.
it's just funny. He's just getting absolutely dominated right now. And this is like all NBA Twitter could talk about. Because
Really?
this guy's like an all NBA player who just got like the Monstars took his powers and now he's averaging 10 and 8. And he's like a 20 and 10 guy. So
That sucks.
Wait,
He's in his
scroll
head.
down.
he's
I want-
in his head. He's in his head.
I want to see
You gotta get
if
out of
they
there.
look similar at all. Big muscles. Or that.
On a lighter note, Sophie Cunningham addressed the Angel Reese situation on her podcast,
focusing not on Reese directly but on the strange NBA playoff subplot surrounding her. Reese had reportedly been involved with Jalen Duren before,
publicly beginning a relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. And Duren and Carter Jr.
I want to see
You gotta get
if
out of
they
there.
look similar at all. Big muscles. Or that they're both big men.
Yeah, they're both bigs. I don't know. My wife thinks Wendell Jr. is hotter. I think Jalen Duren might be hotter, but that's also here it is.
Fair.
So that was Sophie Cunningham on our podcast speaking about Angel Reese. Now let's get to the meat and the potatoes that is this WNBA reporter, man.
are currently matched up against each other in the playoffs. Duren, a 20 and 10 performer during the regular season,
has seen his numbers drop noticeably during the series, and Reese's social media activity, posting highlights of Duren getting dunked on, added an unusual layer to an already odd situation. Cunningham's take was largely sympathetic to all parties while noting the obvious awkwardness of the dynamic, with the observation that whatever the underlying circumstances, moving forward without publicly stoking the situation would serve everyone involved better.
The meat and the potatoes that is this WNBA reporter, man. Basically saying Caitlin Clark is not the best player in the W. Not is she not only not the best player, she is not the best point guard ever, and he compared her to Jeremy
The
Lin.
Caitlin Clark thing is over because she's not the best player in the WNBA. She's not the best guard in the WNBA. She's not even the best guard from her college class because that's Paige Beckers, who plays for Dallas, who beat them in the season opener. Because that's Paige Beckers, who plays for Dallas, who beat them in the season opener. This could be a situation where this could all we look back on Caitlin Clark, and we're not going to look back on her like she's Michael Jordan. She's Jeremy Lin. This is just insanity. She's going to fumble this, and it's because of two things. Who would have thought? She decided to roll up with Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen says the N-word liberally, says it more than I do, and I'm.
The dude said the N-word one time. Now you lying, dog. Now you lying. And it was 5 years ago when he said it. One time. Now you lying, dog. Now you lying. And it was 5 years ago when he said it, bro. He don't say it all the time. He said it one time, bro.
Black. And her bitching and moaning to the refs nonstop. But when we look back on this, we'll go, this girl had the world by the balls. She had everybody loving her. People who hate women's sports were tuning in just for her. And when we look at Jeremy Lin and look at her, we're going to find out that at the end of the day, it was the exact same thing.
For more entertaining, compelling sports talk with me, and Tyrone Johnson.
This was crazy, bro. This dude went unhinged on CC, bro. Listen to Jamil.
That's what I was about to say.
Because I'm telling you, ain't nobody gonna hold up.
If Angel Reese walked out with Chris Brown, what would they be saying? If I'm just making up something
exactly.
like that.
Absolutely. A lot of people in this same discourse, they unearthed photos and tweets about WNBA players going to see Chris Brown.
Because people pay attention to her so much,